what's up, everybody? It's your host of the Morning Beer Podcast, Devrell Davis, and like I told you, I'm gonna be dropping a few videos here and there. So now I wanted to hit you with a video, and this is pertaining to my New York Mets. It's about Luis Rojas. Is he the right manager for this team at this time right now, when we're trying to win the National League East, win the National League pennant, and then win the World Series? Okay. And even if we don't win the National League East, at least win the wild card position to get into position to win the National League pennant. Now, I have a few views, and I was going to drop this video probably a month ago, right? When we was in Tampa Bay, and we was playing the Tampa Bay. If y'all could go back a little bit further down the line, when we played Tampa Bay in Tampa Bay. And I think we got swept by them, or we at least lost the series from what I recall, but there was the game one when David Peterson was pitching on the mound. And this is when I said to myself, we cannot win with Luis Rojas as our manager. I was like, he's probably going to be done after the season. The reason why is because I remember when Cohen took over the team and took over the franchise. He said he doesn't want anybody learning on his dime, which is rightfully so. You're a multi-billionaire. You want people that's gonna, equal out to your money as far as their education and their ability to do the job. So, of course, if Luis Rojas not doing the job, you don't want nobody learning your dollar. Maybe let him move on with his career, and then you find somebody else that can fit that situation that you could spend some money on and potentially fit that position. Now, I don't know if there's anybody out there right now, like how maybe a few years ago there's a Joe Madden, there's a Joe Girardi and stuff like that. There's probably nobody out there right now, the big name manager, because all these managers are like a little bit, more so manufactured through developing through minor leagues or as a coach prior to the position. They're no longer the guys that you bring in, like the Joe Maddens, like even Tony La Russa in Chicago. There's none of those guys out there waiting to be hired, in my opinion. So, excuse me. About to yawn. Still with this yawning thing, I still can't stop yawning while making the video. When I talk too much, I need some air. I'm not probably breathing as much as I need to. So, excuse me, sorry. So anyway, let's go back to the topic. Is Luis Rojas the right manager? Let's go back to that series in Tampa Bay. When they played Tampa Bay in the first game, David Peterson was pitching in the game. Now, David Peterson was probably pitching the best game I've seen him pitch in his 2 years as a New York Mets pitcher, right? Did he need to go back out for that seventh inning? He never went that deep in the game. This year, I think last year he had better games where he went. Well, he had a better year. I'm not going to say he had better games, but that was probably the best game I've seen him pitch. He was shutting down Tampa Bay, who had one of the worst offenses at that time, but was still in first place because they play winning baseball. They steal bases. They play efficient defense. They pitch well, bullpen, and start pitching. So they're going to win games, but they wasn't winning games with their bats. So we were shutting them out. David Peterson was pretty much handling them, but he decided to run Peterson back out there for another inning to start the inning. And Tampa Bay, this is probably like the third time through the lineup, and this is something that Tampa Bay is not for. They don't like having their particular pitchers go 3 times through a lineup. So they understand that their offense could wait till your pitcher goes 3 times through the lineup and then pounce on them. So that's what they actually did. They actually ended up hitting a home run. We ended up losing that game. Yeah, actually, our offense was just as stagnant as Tampa Bay's offense in that game. And I felt that he let Peterson pitch way too long in that game. I'm a pretty big proponent. I know relievers are paid millions of dollars to be a reliever and come in there and put out the fire. But I'm a big proponent in having a pitcher, reliever or starter, start an inning fresh, right? Wasn't a fan of having Peterson stay in that game longer in order to have the reliever come in and have to play fireman. Okay? You understand? They should have took Peterson out when they had a chance to take Peterson out. but Luis chose to keep him in, had let him start the inning, and he gave up a few put runners on base, and he gave up a home run, and then the game was out of hand from then because our offense was just as stagnant as Tampa Bay's offense. So it was coming down to pitching and who's going to use their pitching better. I felt he didn't use his pitching as well as he should have. Now we're going to fast forward to another David Peterson start. And this was not as, even though it was more recent, it's not as fresh in my memory because it didn't piss me off as much as the Tampa Bay game, because I felt after the Tampa Bay game, Luis Rojas showed me why he is the manager right now, why he should stay the manager, because we had a record number of players on the IL, unable to perform, unable to play. We're playing Billy McKinney in right field, Peraza second base. We're playing almost a triple A team every day, and we're still winning first place. Now, is it a byproduct of how bad the NL East's been underperforming, or is it a byproduct of how good we've been performing? I'm leaning more to how good we've been performing because our pitching has just been carrying us, and we've been playing Tampa Bay baseball, right? But I'm going to fast forward to a time when David Peterson pitched again a little bit more recently. I don't remember as fresh as what the game was, and I'm getting old. I'm like 40 years old. I'm gonna be 41 in a few weeks, so I'm like losing my memory here and there. My short-term memory is like gone so quick. But anyway, it's the same situation. Peterson was in a game. Who was it against? We recently played Washington. Bam. I don't remember. But anyway, this game he was left in a little bit too long, and with that happening, once again, we gave the game up, and he didn't learn from his prior mistake that he made against Tampa Bay, right? So I said to myself, all right, you know what? When he did that mistake against Tampa Bay, I don't think Rojas was fit for the team. When we started winning with this ragtag players, man, Villar at third base, all these injuries that we had, I'm like, damn, this guy is like probably the best manager in the game. So then when the second time when he did with Peterson, I'm like, all right, I'll give him a pass because of how good he's been managing and how well he has a command over this team. And instead of making the video that I was planning to make a month ago on why Rojas should not be the manager of the team, I'm fully for Rojas being the manager of the team and going on beyond this year. I feel confident in him more than ever, even though I think, and every manager makes this mistake, either they go to a bullpen too fast, a la Tampa Bay in the World Series, or they take too long to go to a bullpen, a la Terry Collins in the World Series when we lost to KC. When we left Matt Harvey in the game a little bit too long. But we need to find a nice medium with Rojas, right? He's getting the right people in his ear. He has a good bench coach. He has a good coaching staff around him that's guiding him. But I've seen him taking the reins of this team and making good calls and good commands. But yes, he's going to have the hiccups every now and then. He's going to pretty much make a bad decision. And you know, there's one bad decision that happened this week right here that I felt that should have been taken care of a little bit differently. And it was between today's game, which we ended up winning, and when we was down 3-0 to Charlie Morton, when they gave up that 3-run home run by Miguel gave up that 3-run home run to Ozzy Albies. I was like, this game is over. We're not coming back. Our offense is not. But then McCain's came in there and hit 3-run home runs. But we can't always depend on that. We have to manufacture some runs a little bit better than this instead of waiting for the big boom to tie up the game and then eventually win the game. But what I felt he should have done the day before and the day before that, the last game in that series that we had against the Phillies, I was not concerned with necessarily winning that series because we was up 2-1 in that series. It was a 4-game series. We were up 2-1. So he wanted to put we had Stroman or Eichhoff. He could have pitched, right? He could have gave Stroman another day because Stroman's coming off a game where he pitched only 2 innings and he had a little injury. You could have pushed him back and have him pitch the game that I felt was more important with the second place Washington Nationals that we was playing the day after on travel day, and they're in second place and they're only like 3 games behind us. All right, and they're red hot as far as the Kyle Schwarber. Have Stroman pitch that game instead of Jared Eichhoff. We could have had Jared Eichhoff go against his former team in Philadelphia, which I know he probably was itching and more mentally ready to do, and probably wanted to do more so than anything else. So I would have rather pitched him against his former team up 2-1, right? And flip a coin. We would probably would have won that game. Maybe he would have pitched the game of his life, and then have Stroman pitch against the more important game. I feel was that Washington game, which was a make a game from the beginning of the season that we wasn't able to make. And I know hindsight is 2020 and be able to nitpick about things right now and everything, but I just felt that little decision should have just been flipped. Eichhoff pitch against Philly, Stroman pitch against a team that we need to that we're losing against this year so far. We're I think we're 3-5 against them. We're in Philly. Philly's Philly. We're gonna beat them. They're gonna actually beat themselves, to be honest with you, like they've been doing. And I think Stroman didn't have it. I think he came back a little bit too soon. And Eichhoff didn't have it. I think he rested too much. So and he was probably mentally prepared to play against a team that he came up with. So that was a little decision right there. But regardless, I want to keep an eye on Rojas, evaluate him a little bit more. He is a manager of one of the top teams in baseball, and he's keeping his team together. Believe it or not, he's keeping them in the game. He's going to make some bad decisions, but he fights for his players too. These umpires are making bad calls. He's right there, jawing with them, and I like that. I like the fact that he's not a pushover like Aaron Boone in the Bronx. And I don't care. Whatever the Yankees do negative, I'm for. I'm glad to see the Yankees not doing that well. But we're playing the Yankees this week right here with the Subway Series and everything. So I hope we keep them on that trend of not playing that well. But anyway, we got to step up against Atlanta. Game one. We have to win the series, I feel, and keep them in the rearview mirror. We're only 3 games up against Washington right now, and I feel Washington is. I told people I was very fearful of Washington this year. I feel they have a squad, especially if they get Strasburg and Scherzer being Scherzer, and they're pitching Corbin, who always was a thorn in our ass even when he was in Arizona. I feel that they're very dangerous and potentially could be a team that could put a cramp in our style. So we're 3-5 against them, and we have to get a lot better. I think he has to structure the pitching staff a lot better for that. We have to watch the way that he takes care of DeGrom throughout the rest of the season, and potentially keep him from being injured and stuff like that. So it's just he's a manager. Probably a month ago, 2 months ago, definitely, maybe a month ago and a half, I was ready to let's move on from him. We're poised to win the championship very soon, and we got the players there. They're just injured. We could accumulate more players because we have the assets to do so, money wise and prospect wise. So, but this is our manager. And I like Luis Rojas right now, and I think he's right now. I'm going to grade him at 85%, which is a B plus, and that's all you could really ask for a manager right now. 85%. Give him a 15% curve where he might make some mistakes, and you have to live with that, But I'm for him right now, so I'll give him a thumbs up and great job he's doing. I think he's doing a top 3 National League Manager of the Year job right now. Maybe Gabe Kapler in San Francisco is doing a lot better. But yeah. So that's my take on Luis Rojas. What's your take? Definitely, definitely leave some info in the comments. Leave some comments below. Definitely, send your anything you want to ask me to my email. All the information will be down below. I'm your host of the Morning Beer Podcast, Deborah Davis. Thanks for listening to me for a few minutes, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.
Peter Pan, that's what they call me. I promise that you'll never be lonely.